They bought a house at the end of a quiet road. And on the very first night, the house whispered their names. Arjun and Maya were exhausted. Months of searching, endless visits, and too many disappointments had worn them down. So when they found the house at the end of that narrow, empty road, it felt less like a dream and more like a surrender. A quiet relief. There were no neighbors nearby. No traffic noise. No city distractions. Just a profound, almost unnatural silence. "This place feels peaceful," Maya said, her voice sounding small in the open air. The owner, a man with tired eyes, handed over the keys quickly, almost too quickly. He didn't linger, didn't share stories about the home's history. He just left. Inside, the house smelled old, but not dusty. It smelled like closed rooms that still remembered voices, like secrets preserved in the wood and plaster. That first evening passed in a blur of unpacking and quiet celebration. They ate dinner on the floor of the living room, their laughter creating soft echoes that bounced through the empty spaces. It felt like a fresh start. By midnight, they were in bed, the silence of the countryside settling over the house like a heavy blanket, a complete, unbroken quiet. At exactly 2:17 a.m., Arjun woke up. It wasn't a nightmare that startled him, or a loud sound from outside. It was a sudden, chilling certainty that he wasn't alone. Then he heard it, a whisper, "Arjun." It wasn't loud. It wasn't distant. It was close, intimately, terrifyingly close. Like someone was standing right beside the bed. He sat bolt upright, his heart pounding against his ribs. "Maya?" he whispered, his voice cracking. Before she could answer, the voice spoke again, this time with a slightly different inflection. "Maya." Her eyes snapped open in the darkness. He could feel her tense beside him. "I heard it," she said, her voice barely a breath. They stayed frozen, holding their breath, listening for something, anything else. But the house had returned to its deep, unnerving silence. Morning came, and with the sunlight streaming through the windows, their fears seemed ridiculous. They laughed it off over coffee. Old houses make strange noises. The wind, the pipes. The mind plays tricks when you're tired and in a mute place. It had to be a hallucination, a shared dream brought on by stress. But as the day wore on, a feeling of wrongness began to creep back in. The house felt aware. Rooms seemed to go quiet the moment they entered. Floorboards creaked only when their backs were turned. The silence wasn't peaceful anymore. It was watchful. That night, they left all the lights on, a silent agreement that neither of them wanted to admit to. They lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, waiting. The clock on the nightstand ticked past midnight, past 1, past 2. And then, at 2:17 a.m., the whisper returned. But this time, it didn't just say their names once. It repeated them, slowly, deliberately. "Arjun, Maya, Arjun, Maya," over and over. It sounded like someone practicing a new language, trying to get the pronunciation just right. And that's when Arjun realized something truly terrifying. The voice wasn't just getting louder, it was getting better. The next night, they decided they couldn't just lie there and wait for it. When the whisper started at 2:17 a.m., they got up. Armed with flashlights, they followed the sound. It seemed to come from the bedroom doorway, so they moved into the hall. Then the whisper moved ahead of them, seeming to emanate from the living room. They followed it into the kitchen, their footsteps loud in the tense quiet. The whisper was always just ahead, always just out of reach. Then, it stopped being in one place, and started being everywhere. The walls vibrated faintly. The floor hummed with a low resonant frequency. The ceiling seemed to breathe, a slow rhythmic rise and fall that was almost imperceptible. The whisper wasn't coming from a corner or a shadow. It was coming from the house itself. The house wasn't haunted by a ghost or a spirit. It was listening. It was learning. Then, a new sound. A voice, still whispery and fragmented, but more formed now. It spoke from all around them. "You live here." Maya stumbled back, her hand flying to her mouth. Arjun grabbed her arm, his own mind racing. "That's not a ghost," he whispered, the realization dawning on him like a cold dread. "It's learning. It's learning how to be us." Their denial shattered, replaced by a cold, methodical fear. They began recording audio on their phones whenever they left the house. When they returned and played back the files, their blood ran cold. The recordings weren't silent. The house was talking to itself. Whispers, descriptions, observations. Arjun opens doors. Maya turns lights off. Arjun sleeps. Maya dreams. It was studying them, documenting their habits, their routines, their very existence. And every night, at exactly 2:17 a.m., its practice sessions became more complex. It moved from single words to full sentences. On the 7th night, they lay in bed, listening to the walls around them piece together a new horrifying thought. "We are family." As the last word was spoken, every door in the house slammed shut with a deafening boom. The lights flickered and died, plunging them into absolute darkness. The whisper was different now. It moved faster, more confidently through the rooms. Its imitation of their names was perfect, flawless. On the 8th night, something changed. 2:17 a.m. arrived, and the house went silent. Utterly, completely silent. No humming, no whispering, nothing. The quiet was more terrifying than any sound it had ever made. Arjun lay still, his senses on high alert. He felt a breath behind him, not cold, not warm. It was familiar. Then the house spoke, but it didn't whisper. It spoke clearly in both of their voices at once. A perfect, seamless blend of Arjun's tone and Maya's inflection. A sound that was both of them, and neither of them. And it said, "We know how to sound like you now." And for the first time, the house stopped practicing. Silence feels unfinished. The house is still listening.